Now, former England rugby player James Haskell has been causing quite a stir in I'm a Celeb for constantly insisting that he goes last in the pecking order and that women should go before the men when it comes to things like getting fed.
Do the ladies first. Do the ladies first.
No,
Kate.
listen, I'm an adult. I'll choose when I want to go in the thing, and it's not. Let the girls go first.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, but let the girls go first. But
But
you fight every time. Just go with it.
Can you get your food?
The girls going to go. I will. Alex, I'll get my food.
Oh my God, it's painful. It's actually painful.
It's not.
Yes, it is for everybody else.
Stop commenting then. I didn't ask. I'll go when I want to go.
It's ridiculous. You do this every time.
I'll go when I'll go.
Because you're the big man.
That's fine.
Shut up, Ian.
Now, this caused quite a debate in our house. We're big I'm a Celeb fans. And, you know, obviously everything he's doing is coming from a really good place. He thinks that he's being, you know, incredibly chivalrous and ladies first and all this sort of thing. And you know, Nick and I were talking about it, and obviously he's looking at it from a man's perspective in that, you know, it's a nice thing to offer ladies first, whether it's getting fed or whatever. And that's my take on it. It's if they want it. And I think that the problem that I've had is the stop banging on, stop arguing back. And actually...
Kate said, I know you're being chivalrous, but in this case, that's not relevant, so I'm choosing where to go.
Yes.
And he still shot her down.
Yes.
And I think in that instance, certainly in James's case, I think he's coming over a little bit controlling in the jungle. I know he's married to Chloe, and I love Chloe, so I'm sure she keeps him well in his place at home. But I think that it's, as I say, it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
I feel
and I
like
think, isn't it difficult, though, when it does come from a good place? He's not being horrible or anything. It's just misguided, I think, and maybe a bit blinkered.
I think it's difficult because I think most of us agree on here that men are sometimes at a disadvantage these days, that they don't know where to go. And we're all feminists here, but I still would always... I don't mind if someone doesn't open a door or doesn't pull a chair out, but if they do, I'm very grateful for it. I've got two sons. My eldest son, who's musician Matty, is a very outspoken and uses his global voice for feminism very, very strongly. But I've also been with both my kids over the years when they wouldn't dream, say at Euston Station or whatever, of seeing a lady struggling with a suitcase, and I've seen them go and pick it up. They would similarly do that for a man also, but they would be looking out for a woman to see if she was struggling. And I like it when I'm struggling, and people do it for me. So I know some people say, oh, it's a bit hypocritical to be like that. I think that you can be a feminist and stand up for everything that women...
I can see how men are really confused.
So can I.
It's like post-Me Too, they're damned if they help us and damned if they don't help us. And then if they help us, where are the boundary lines? When are you over-familiar, or when are you just being friendly, or when are you being helpful, or when are you being a bit yucky? So, you know, you can see men are really, really nervous. I mean, personally, as far as chivalry goes, I don't care who helps me. When I've got a heavy bag and I'm at the station and there's steps, I just put that bag down and go, help! I need help! Anything.
But how would you feel if you were in that instance, your name's top of the list, and even if you spoke
in the jungle, when people are hungry, the whole issue of food makes people totally unreasonable. And the reason why I took charge of the cooking was to make sure that I was in charge of portion control.
Because you were in the jungle, just in case people forget.
Yes, so when I did I'm a Celebrity, I did the cooking and I dished it out because I didn't trust men or women to take the right size portion.
It's such a weird mindset, because I don't even know why we're saying should a man, should a woman. I think you're right when you say humanist. If it makes him feel good to sit and wait to get his dinner last, that's just who he is. It's not because he's a man, and it's not because the other people getting theirs first are women. I think that we are so ready to be offended at everything nowadays. I'm raising 3 young men, but that doesn't change the fact that I would raise 3 children exactly the same way. I'd say, well, just wait. Let
It's
people
about
go.
manners,
it's
isn't it?
courtesy.
I think we're also in danger
manners.
of losing our sense of humour. I said earlier that I was at this ex-detectives lunch yesterday, which was great fun, and I think there was probably 570 men and 30 women, and they had a speaker up who was speaking on behalf of the top table, and he was very, very funny, and he was a little bit sexist, but it was a little bit. And so I was thinking, gosh, I bet there are some people offended. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
There was nothing offensive.
Sure.
It was just little. Because then we said that if there had been 580 women and 30
Oh, yeah, well,
men,
I often speak at women's lunches.
we would have had
and
a go.
I pick on men,
People,
yeah.
It gets on my nerves, especially because we're women on this show, and people go, we hate men. No, we don't. We love men. We're all married to men. We adore men. But there
In
are
spite
certain
of their
things that
shortcomings.
there's certain things that we can generalise about it, like I'm dreading going home to Lincoln because he's got man flu, and that's the thing. Men clutch
to
the
come and stay at my
furniture when they
house.
have a cold.
I
End
think
of story.
The problem is, though, that what we're starting to do is we're telling men, we know that men have a problem, it's a real serious issue that male suicide is one of the biggest killers of men. So we're telling men to open up and to be sensitive, but then at the same time we're telling them that they're absolutely not allowed to be that way and they have to man up and they have to be, you know, so how are we raising the boys now? Like, how,
Well,
they're gonna be so
hopefully we're
confused.
raising them to have good manners and
good
young
manners
But
women.
then we're
Generally,
telling them off for
everybody.
having good manners and for trying to do something nice and for trying to put other people first. So it's like, what
Well, we did a poll and we asked you, should we ditch the whole idea of ladies first? And 86% of you said no.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the audience thinks so too.